Thank you for joining us for episode 44. Kanye West, genius? Question mark? How you doing, ladies? How you doing, Walter? How you doing, D?
Muy bueno.
I reluctantly watched the Kanye West documentary. Why reluctantly? Although, you know, he has a few songs that I like to jam and all that. I never really was a Kanye West like fan or anything. But what happened, a podcast that I listened to, every time they had a new episode, they the host talked about it, which kind of sparked my interest. And then one day I was on live and Walter comes on my live talking about, hey, have you seen the Kanye West documentary? I was like, no. So now I gotta watch it. So you was the catalyst, Walter, pushing me over to watch this documentary.
Like always.
Yeah. With that being said, a couple of things. Right after it ended, I actually sat down and I binge watched all 3 episodes in a row. And then right after it finished,
That's a lot of time, isn't it? Aren't they like over an hour each?
Well, it was a lazy Sunday, so I had time to put in some service work, no pun intended, as of Kanye's Sunday service.
Oh, I see.
But it was a lazy Sunday, and so I spent a little time with Kanye, right? And so right after I finished it, I wrote down a few things that stood out to me that, you know, first jumped out, came to my mind. What did you think about it, Walter, at first, your first initial?
I loved it. It made me cry.
Are you a Kanye West fan?
Yeah, I mean, I've known Kanye since I was like maybe like in middle school. You know, like I've liked his music and I don't know. I've always been into him.
How about you, D?
But,
Kanye West fan? Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
I mean, not like, probably Claudia sounds like a bigger fan than I, but I've listened to, like through middle school, high school, there was always a Kanye West song on the radio.
He's incredibly creative with his work.
Yeah.
Is that what drove you to watch the documentary, Walter?
Actually, I had a friend that's a Gemini that actually recommended I watch it. He was like, dude, you have to see this. I mean, it made me cry. And I was like, really? The Kanye documentary made you cry?
Aww.
So I watched it and lo and behold, it made me cry.
Wow. Did it make Cody cry, Walter? I mean, D?
He hasn't said so.
Didn't he say he's been watching it?
He's only gotten through, I think he said only the first episode. Because he said, because we're parents and they're long and it's taken him a while to get through the first episode.
Oh.
But he said he likes it and that's kind of sad and that like it shows like how close he really was to his mom. And like once Kanye West's mom died, that's when he started going crazy, as people are calling it, you know?
Say, D, did you just take a shot at me?
Did I?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, you just took a shot at me, D. You said we parents. So what are you saying? Hey, Paul, I don't have time to sit down and binge watch Kanye West. Well, D, guess what? Guess what I did yesterday, D? Yesterday on a lazy Saturday.
Yeah.
I binge watched all 3 episodes again.
Oh shit.
Just to make sure I ain't missed nothing.
Just studying. That
wasn't a shot, was it, D?
No, I wasn't even thinking about that. Just you got grown kids, you like kind of single-ish, you know. They don't need you as much. I got little kids.
one of the first things that stood out to me is what incredible forethought that it took to start filming this documentary when he wasn't even a star yet.
Yeah, that's something that Cody mentioned, was like that the cameraman, like, who would have thought he would have needed all this footage?
Yes, that's
who would have thought that he would be such a huge star that this footage would be like pretty valuable?
Yeah, think about that. That's just like, me 7 years ago putting a camera on me saying, hey, one day I'm gonna do an astrology podcast and I want y'all to start filming me. Huh?
Well, he's a Pisces moon, so he had the vision.
Yeah. We're gonna get into that. More notes with that is to make that video, what it showed me is to make it takes passion for what you're doing, vision and imagination to see yourself down the line, and willpower and dedication, and take no for an answer to really be successful. Now, I'm not saying that works for everybody, but that's one of the things that stood out to me about Kanye when watching this documentary. Any thoughts on that, Walter?
Well, like I said, I've always admired his work. I think it's very creative. But after watching the documentary, it gave me a lot more insight into how truly hardworking he is and how much effort he puts into everything, which to me is kind of like, I mean, I know that he's outrageous and he says insane things, in other people's perspective, but he's got a lot. I feel that he can actually like back it up in a way, because if you see the documentary, he's gone through some shit.
But think about this. This video was 20 years in the making, and he wasn't even a star. And he started getting people to walk around, a person to walk around filming it.
It was genius.
Okay.
I give him credit. He definitely made his way up.
All right.
Well, I want to add something. And this is what I learned after I watched the documentary. And this is a disclaimer for anyone that hasn't watched this. I'm sorry, but this is technically a spoiler. It wasn't till I think it wasn't till the social media era, like the real social media, like after 2010, maybe like 2012, around there, that musicians and artists would start doing both. Like they were considered like DIYs, like they started producing and rapping at the same time. So the fact that Kanye did this way before, and the fact that he was a producer first and then a rapper after, and that kind of made, and Rockefeller, they didn't really want to accept him because they wanted him to stick to making beats or whatever. Like the fact that he was able to sort of, put himself in a situation where he could be both was revolutionary for, the game or whatever. Rap game.
On that point, I would say he just became Dr. Dre on steroids.
Yeah, but Dr.
Dre never really focused on the rap. You see what I'm saying? But he was a producer and / artist. But he didn't want to. He wasn't a rapper like Kanye wanted to be.
Well, Dr. Dre doesn't come off as controversial as Kanye is.
Oh no. I'm just speaking on the rap producer tag.
Yeah.
Somebody who else. Actually, he was in a documentary that touched on that, but he didn't focus on that for real.
Okay, but my point is,
yeah,
so,
I got your point. What I'm saying is he took both of those and he enhanced on it.
yeah,
Jupiter, you know what I'm
right.
saying?
But exactly. But that's what I'm trying to say, that I think that because he's amazing at beats and he knows it and he says it and everyone else says it too. But
there was only one reason why he said it. It's in the thing. There's only one reason why he started making beats.
Because he wanted to rap, correct?
That's it. The only reason he started making beats is because he wanted to rap. But people kept buying his beats from him before he got a chance to rap on.
Of course. But he wanted to rap because he had so many things to say. Like Through the Wire, he literally says it in the first line. I got so many things in my heart I gotta just say right now, which is so indicative of, you know, his Gemini placements, his Pisces placements, and so on.
Yes, but what I was only saying is Dr. Dre is also considered a rap / producer. Only thing I'm saying is Kanye took that and just exploded, you know. He just took the ball from Dr. Dre and just ran with it to the fullest. And that is some of the reason why other people, that's the reason why other people wasn't really taking him serious as a rapper, because if you look through history when it comes to rap producers, you got, like I said, you got Dre. Another person you have is Eric Sermon from EPMD, but he was mostly beats and he was just like a sidekick for the rappers first. But Kanye, I agree, Kanye took that and he just exploded on that. He
capitalized on it.
Yes. I mean, because think about For Real, what's that song? Happy. Come on, get happy.
Yeah.
But in all actuality, you know, Pharrell was with Neptunes, and they was all about the beats. I think he just started doing that as just a gimmick, personally, for real. But
yeah, Kanye, it was a way to enter.
Yeah, but Kanye was really about the rap, going to his Gemini. But we don't get that. The next thing that really stood out to me was Donda, which is his mother. I can see why she has an album named after her, and I think it's fixing to be a Donda 2. I think I heard there's a bit.
Yeah, I think so.
It seemed that Donda, his mother, believed in Kanye more than Kanye believed in himself. Which I know y'all out there may thinking, damn, somebody can believe in Kanye more than Kanye. But
she must be one hell of a hype man.
I think his mom believed in him more than him. Yeah, because Kanye loves him some Kanye.
That's what made me cry about the whole thing. The fact that his mom was so she believed in him so much, and she instilled that force of strength in him and sense of confidence. That's what really got to me. That's what made me, I guess.
We always talk about programming on this show sometimes, but most of the time it's in the religious standpoint. Hey, you were programmed in this religion, you were programmed in this society. But imagine having somebody programming you with the belief that you could do anything or be anything that you want to. And I not only tell you that, but be your biggest fan and cheerleader.
It's fucking amazing. Who wouldn't want that?
I've been a totally different person.
That just goes to show you how powerful it is to have positivity like that in your life every single day.
Be honest with you, what else do I have down here about his mom? R.I.P. Dr. Donda West. For the brief few minutes that I had with you, i.e. through this documentary, you made an impression on me. Just imagine if I would have been able to be in the same presence with her in her same room. Just those brief little moments, she made an impression on me. How about you, Wanda?
Absolutely. No, I thought she was amazing. And the fact that she knew his lyrics, the fact that on the documentary, you see that she's actually there, like rapping with him and basically, you know, reminding him, oh, this is how you said it. You know, it just shows you a different side. I mean, to me, it made sense why he lost it after she died, you know? I mean, it's terrible to have to lose a parent, obviously. But Kanye's life really went, not his life, but maybe like he had a mental decline after his mother passed away. And I could see why through the documentary, why that happened, because she was literally it for him. She was his God, pretty much.
D, I've heard you talk about your relationship with your mother. Just imagine where you would be emotionally and self-esteem wise if you had a mother just behind you, pushing you, believing in everything you did, would just know all your dream interpretations and just, you know, just be all into you. What do you think?
I mean, I guess I could say, so you guys know that I have a narcissist mom. So the narcissist parent is always like, when they do praise you, I believe in you. Oh, but you get it from me. I did that. Those are my genes. Oh, look at my genes working. So like, I won't say that she never like praised me, but it was always with that like caveat.
Yeah, always about her.
If it was like real, true believing in you, you know, like you would feel that. You would know that. You would feel it in your heart, you know? Like that sounds so foreign to me.
Hey, you wouldn't have been so nervous to start doing this podcast.
I still get nervous. I'm nervous right now.
There you go. Yeah. It's something you just said. Last thing I had to say about his mother. Well, there's some other things I'll bring up later. But yeah, do y'all know who the rapper Juvenile is? Y'all ever heard of him?
Of course, back that ass up.
Yes. Well, Juvenile has a song, and it applies to Kanye West. And if you want to know where Kanye gets his belief in himself and his ego and his fire, just listen to Juvenile song. She get it from his mama, her mama.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So where did
he get it from his mama?
Yeah, he got it from his mama.
Belief in himself.
The belief in himself.
That's amazing. That's like really beautiful.
Yeah. Now, it takes one to know one. Me being the one.
Why? Because you're Gemini rising?
No. What's another thing that stood out to me was Kanye West's competitiveness.
Oh, and you're competitive?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's super competitive. I think that's where that's a lot of the times where he puts his foot in his mouth. I'm gonna let you talk right now, Taylor, but fucking Beyonce had the greatest album of all time, and I'm gonna say it right now in front of all you people.
Everything he made this quote. Everything someone said would be a disadvantage to me, I'm going to turn it around and make it my advantage.
That's a good
Yeah.
That's a good, like, yeah, the Queen of Nightmares is gonna say you gotta shine a light on your madness. And don't, how can I use this as a stepping stool instead of what do they call that? A falling boulder? I don't know the thing.
Speaking of stepping stool, he uses the things people say to motivate him to greatness.
I do that too.
So one of the things he said, hey, you can't be a rap / producer. And he said, hey, watch me do this. Hey, you can't compete with the great rappers. He was saying, watch me. He was saying, I want to be with the Jay-Z's. I want to be with the Don't put me with the producers. That was something he was saying, he said in the documentary. I have a question for you though, you guys.
Shoot.
He uses the things people say to motivate him to greatness. How could that backfire on him though?
Letting the negativity seep in and depression takes over and you fall into your dark hole and don't come out.
Any thoughts, Walter? Since you say you kind of do that as well, how could using people's words to motivate you backfire?
Exactly what Dee just said. I mean, we're seeing it right now with his mental health declining. After the election, the 2020 election, and all of what happened.
Oh, he ran for president, didn't he?
He did. He ran for president, and after all the things that he has said and the backlash that he's received for it, and pretty much the city of Chicago doesn't even like him, like people are embarrassed of him. And at this point, I think he knows that, and it's his ego has suffered. It has
have his mom through this.
No, which makes sense to me, because he's really, he's taken refuge in Christianity and in religion. So, before, I think, based on what I saw in
other avenues.
Based on what I saw in the documentary before, he was taking refuge in his mother.
Right.
Like she was the belief system that drove him to his greatness. And after he lost her, now he's taken refuge in religion. And that's why he made Jesus his king. That's why now he's talking about how he's humble and this and that.
You said that's why he's making that now, but wasn't what was on his first album? When Jesus walked on his first album?
Walks, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
So he's been there. He's been in that space.
He's always been religious, but I feel like he's deep.
Right. But hold on, because he made Jesus Walks, but then a couple years later he made an after, I think it was the Yeezus album. No, the one with like black slaves or something. I forgot what it's called. I just know that in one of those, he literally in one of those interviews he stated, well, I am a god. Don't you see? I'm a god.
Yeah, I am a god. Yeah.
All right.
Totally.
But before I forget this point, I like to talk in extremes. So what if you someone who is motivated by what things that people say? What if someone says, hey, I don't think you could jump off this bridge and live?
Oh, I don't want to do that. I think Kanye's too cocky to do something like that. I think he's too self-preserved. His ego's too self-preserved to do something like that.
I'm not saying him, but I'm just saying, if you take that example, that could be the reason why he ran for president. Kanye, you think you so good, man? You think you could be president? Man, I could be president. Let me show you.
You can see. Well, I mean, he still could be president.
I'm just saying, when you let words motivate you, it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing.
This is kind of like, did y'all ever watch 30 Rock with Tracy Jordan? where Jack Donaghy tells him, just don't, quit fighting dogs, Tracy. And he's like, I gotta fight dogs now. Like, that's what I gotta do. Like, you're letting people dictate what you're doing with your life just by telling them, I bet you can't do this or don't do that. That's the one thing you can't do. I gotta do it.
All right, the next thing I was surprised that stood out to me was how the topic of money never really came up in the documentary. Did that surprise you?
It didn't need to. It did. Yes. It did at the beginning though. Because he mentioned how he was broke and shit like that.
Yeah. Money came up, I think. He gave that lady some money in the barbecue place that was dancing around in the video. He spoke at his mother's charity event, the charity they were doing together, but they never really said, like how much money he put up. He did mention one time that they kept saying I wasn't a billionaire. I am a billionaire. He did say that, like in a passing statement. But maybe we were supposed to get the impression of money because of all the locations that they were filming in. They were filming in some beautiful locations. Like, did you see that scene when he was like, you could see the ocean and off the balcony? Remember that?
Well, he was in Dominican Republic. And
yeah, that shit was pretty.
It's not that expensive though.
But that shit was pretty. That compound in Utah ain't no joke.
In Wisconsin?
No, that's in Utah.
What, are you talking about his acres? I think his acres are in Wisconsin. He's got like hundreds of acres in Wisconsin.
Or is it South Dakota? One of them.
I think it's close to the Dakotas, but no, he's got
yeah, it's like a ranch, a compound and shit.
Let me tell you something. Another reason why I watched the documentary is because for some reason I love listening to his interviews. So I've listened to a lot of his interviews with Charlemagne the God. Who's the other guy that's kind of baldish? Not with Sway, but there's another guy. There's another guy that he had an interview with recently, and I love listening to his interviews because every time he speaks.
Drink Champs.
Yeah, I think so.
Nori,
yes, Nori. So in one of his interviews, he talked about having land and purchasing land, and I like listening to all that stuff. So that's kind of, I guess, maybe he doesn't really include that in the documentary, but in terms of money and wealth, that's really where it comes in.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing they did focus in on money was he spent $33,000 on himself. He invested in himself and paid for his own video, his first video.
Because Dame Dash wouldn't sign him.
Yeah, but he still rolled the dice and had that money and did that. That's what stood out to me. One of the second to last things that stood out to me was Kanye's work ethic.
Amazing.
Yeah. The narrator said that Kanye seemed the most happiest when he was creating. So if I take that thought and go further with it, is Kanye a workaholic or is Kanye actually trying to stay in a happy space?
Probably both, because remember after his mom died, he didn't stop working.
But he was a workaholic before his mom died.
Yeah, of course. But at one point, he probably couldn't stop working to not have to face his emotions.
Which led me to ask this, brought another couple of questions to my mind. What happens when he's not creating? Where is his happiness level then?
He's happy working.
He's probably having a mental breakdown.
Well, y'all. I'm just throwing these questions out, y'all.
He has Placidus on his Placidus chart. He has a full 10th house, and a lot of those are in Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
Mars, Venus, Chiron are all in Taurus in his 10th house in Placidus. So it, to me, says workaholic.
So
he's happy, he's content. That's Taurus, where he's working.
Is he happy?
And when he's being creative.
Is he happy, or is he trying to stay in that creative space? Is that being in that creative space actually, in fact, an escape from emotions that he does not want to deal with, which is unhappy?
But
I would go with that. I would go with that one.
He's an artist, though. Like that's
he's also a Pisces moon.
Yeah, he's got a Pisces moon. They gotta escape to some fantastical reality that
when they're being creative, that's like what do you call it? Like therapeutic for them. It's a release for them. Like it may be an escape, but I think it's also therapeutic. There's the other side to that coin.
Well, let me tell you something. Sometimes therapy can be an escape.
Yeah. But I mean, it's still therapy. You're still doing the work. So, he's happy when he's being creative. He just so happens to know how to make money out of his creativity.
Now, I'm glad you said that, D. He's happy when he's creative, right? So in all 3 episodes, the cameraman kept the camera rolling except for one part. I don't know if this stood out to you, Walter. Do you remember when the cameraman cut the camera off?
Yeah, when he was talking about having to translate to alien to English and shit like that.
No, wait. Guess what he wasn't doing at that time?
He wasn't, he was creative. He wasn't.
No. He was sitting at the table having dinner with 2 dudes, and they were talking over some real estate.
They were having a discussion about their next business deal.
Yeah, but he wasn't actually creating.
Well, okay.
And then I'm just noticing when he wasn't creating, he went to a space and dude was like, because the cameraman said, "Hey, I don't really feel comfortable showing this," and he cut the camera off.
Well, he one of the reasons why he did that is because Kanye literally, before he said, and this is another spoiler, right before he said that, he literally said,
translating alien into English.
No. He said, I had to take bipolar medication to have this conversation right now. So basically, yeah,
and keep going with that. And he kept rolling with the alien translating.
Yeah, he was like, I had to be, he talked about how he had to be put strapped up in a bed. Has anybody have to go through that? He mentioned all of that. And then he said, I had to take bipolar medication in order to be able to translate alien to English, to have this conversation with you guys. And the 2 dudes are looking at him like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
But in that same scene, that trip was him working on his album. He was working on an album at that trip.
I ain't saying no. You're right. You're correct. He was working on an album on that trip. Mm-hmm. I'm just talking about that at that particular moment.
Yeah, that moment. Yeah, what he said. I know for a fact that those dudes that were listening to him were like, this guy is off his mind right now.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. When he's not, which goes to my next line, what I have right here. How far does his genius actually extend outside of music and fashion? If you ask some, how far past music and shoes? Because his clothes is questionable.
I don't know. I think he's one of those people that can prove time and time again that he can reinvent himself and create something different.
Walter, I heard one of his clothing line looked like he took it out of a Roots movie. It looked like a bunch of slaves.
Maybe, but people bought it.
Yeah. I think his clothing and
have you seen his shoes?
Hey.
People bought the Yeezys. People still buy Yeezys.
They're like dad shoes.
I said his shoes. But what sign rules the feet?
Pisces.
So now that's why his shoes are dope. His clothes, not so much.
But he's a Taurus. He's a Taurus and he's a Venus and Taurus.
Yeah, but Mars is next to his Venus.
All right.
That's why. Hey, that might be why he puts a. Well, we get.
But some people think that he's fly. Some people think he's fly.
Wait, we getting into the astrology. I got one more point.
Well, this is an astrology podcast.
I got one more point, and then we can get into the astrology.
Look, even talking about Kanye has us going like off the wall.
All right, here's the last point about the documentary that stood out to me. They never spoke about his father. Not that I could recall. The first time I heard about his father was at the presidential speech when he said his father tried to abort him.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, after his mom's death, he's FaceTiming with his father on the phone, like they sitting up there like they best friends and cool. And
well, years later.
Years later. So
years later.
Yeah, that's what. But that stood out to me. Hey, all this time they never mentioned his dad, and then all of a sudden, after his mom's death, all of a sudden he's FaceTiming with his dad on the phone. And it was all after his mom's death. Family he keeps family around him, and I think what happens is he uses his head is so damn big he might float away like the damn Goodyear blimp, but keeping contact with his family helps keep him on the ground. Like his mom said, you could be on the ground, in the air, and on the ground at the same damn time. Yeah. Oh, he also did say in that rant that you was talking about at the table, my brain is too big for my skull.
I believe it.
I believe it.
He said it's true. It's true. Now, let's get down to what everybody tuned in to this show for.
Let's get to the nitty gritty.
The astrology.
Actually, I after we get into that, I want to point out why his dad was probably missing, and we're gonna go with the chart that you have, right? The 845.
Well, yeah, let's go with it because in the astrology world, you really don't want to use somebody's time that's not was it AAA rated? So Kanye West was born June 8th, 1977. In
Atlanta, Georgia.
In Atlanta, Georgia. So if we go with that, right? Well, what would be his planet lineup? Anybody? Just the planets itself.
Right. So he's Sun, Jupiter in Gemini, Mercury, Mars, Venus in Taurus, Moon in Pisces, Saturn in Leo. And then if we go with the 8:45 a.m. chart, his rising is in Cancer at 17 degrees, which puts his Sun and Jupiter in the 12th house. It puts all his Taurus planets in the 11th. He's got a South Node in Aries, North Node in Libra. His Moon is in the 9th, making him extra specially religious.
that's if we're gonna go with the time. I just said
if we go with the
like,
time, yeah.
if we're going with the times, yeah.
But what I wanted to add initially to that last statement that you just made about how you never hear from his dad, you know, in the entire show, and then out of nowhere you do after his mom passes, is if you look at it, his son, if you use the time of 8:45 a.m., which puts Cancer rising in his first house, his ascendant in Cancer, then it puts his son in the 12th. I would go with that statement. Sun in the 12th, not having your father close to you, not having your father present, or maybe your father is physically present, but he's emotionally and mentally distant or mute or just not very involved in your life.
Right.
Which I can attest to that.
Same, girl. Same.
I have Sun in the 12, and my dad's been physically present in my life, but for a very long time, I would say that he really wasn't. I mean, yeah, he was physically present, but emotionally he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. We've been through this before.
Would you, a lot of people think that Kanye West has an inflated ego. Even Kanye West himself admitted he has some narcissistic tendencies in that, didn't you hear? And he asked his mom, right?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be Jupiter under the?
Well, I was just about to ask that. D, would you put that Jupiter 3 degrees away from his sun sign?
But I mean, I asked you first.
I was asking you. I was forming the questions here.
Yeah, Jupiter's under the beams of the sun, and obviously Jupiter inflates everything. So obviously his ego is hella inflated, makes
the sun is like combusting Jupiter, right? And then Jupiter is like expanding the sun
in Gemini. But it also goes hand in hand with the statement that Paul mentioned about him saying, my brain is not big enough for my skull or whatever, or is too big for my skull, right?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, that's what he said.
It's in Gemini. Gemini is.
I think mental. He said that's an actual medical condition.
Oh really? Oh, so he has
I think he said that's like a real condition.
ME? He has encephalitis.
Encephalitis, I think so.
That's what it is.
I don't know.
It's encephalitis. That's the brain. That's what it means. That's basically what it means.
Well, he really does have a big head. Like literally, he's got a big head. If you look at photos of him, he's got a big head.
Yeah, he's got a big head. But you can be big-headed and like have your brain fit inside your head well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, earlier, I sent you guys a wrong chart. You guys out there in astrology land, this Virgo got something wrong. I sent Kanye West's birthday on the 7th, but I will tell you why it was on the 7th.
Let's just excuse that
because now we going to the. So as I watched it, and before I watched it, I tried to pull up the chart, and I saw the time was in question, and so as I watched it with the ascendant being in question, and I tried to figure out what his ascendant could be. And that's why I was moving the chart around, because moving the chart around, you it puts these energies in different houses and stuff. And I was just, could this be it? Could that be it? Nah. But if you so as I was trying to figure out the ascendant, what is the ascendant? In Hellenistic astrology, the ascendant was seen as the helm of the ship, the lord of the hour maker, the steersman, the pilot, or the captain, right? And The role of the steersman or the hour maker is to steer the native's life towards a specific place of destination. It serves towards a guide. The native's life will be focused on and directed towards the topics associated with that particular place, often being more important or distinct. Now, I watched the documentary with that in mind. And I believe that 845 Cancer rising is his rising sign, because that would be the steersman of his ship, right? Yeah. Now, can you see his moon, which would make the moon the steerman of his ship in Pisces, up there in the 9th house of belief and philosophy in life. One of the things we first talked about is off top, what is the moon and Cancer represent?
His
kind
mother.
Of symbolize?
His mother.
There you go. And we talked about one of the things that his mother instilled in him. What was that?
Belief.
Belief in himself. All right. If you look at his music, what is the theme and the topic of his music?
Self-confidence, believe in himself.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Would you say Kanye West's music is very spiritual?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and what else do we know about Pisces and let's just say creativity?
That they're musicians?
Yes. And so he steers beliefs the Piscean way, which is
music.
Through music. Yeah. Now, there you go. So that's one of the reasons why I feel he is a Cancer rising.
You know, looking at this chart right now, what's coming to me is that because Pisces moon are not very egoistic people.
Right.
Pisces is definitely selfless. Okay, we're gonna go to the ego, we're gonna go to Leo. But what does he have in Leo?
Saturn.
Exactly. So yeah. I'm thinking that he may be, well, since the ruler of his chart would be the moon, what's the opposite of the moon?
But his moon is being controlled by Jupiter.
Yeah, of course. But it's doing a sextile with Saturn. His Jupiter and Sun are doing a sextile with Saturn, like a very close sextile.
By the way, Kanye West is a day birth, which means, which means the Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn, and Mercury are trying to help him out. The Moon, Venus, and Mars, not so much.
Right. But that's why I'm saying the whole like ego thing. I think his Saturn is like I think his ego is so out there because of that Saturn in Leo. Like I think his ego rubs people the wrong way because of the Saturn in Leo.
Well, his ego is also in the 12th house of self-undoing.
And the Sun doesn't like to be in the 12th.
No.
And Jupiter doesn't like to be in Gemini.
What do you think about 12th house suns, D?
They're sad.
Wait. we were talking about Kanye West being happy, but you just looked at this chart talking about, and I asked you about 12th house sun.
It's something that they hide. It's a hidden. It's the secrets.
It's a hidden sadness.
Mm-hmm. Secret sorrows and self-undoing.
All right.
So his self-undoing is with his words and his communication.
He undoes himself a lot with the way he speaks, the things
he says.
Not so much what he says, but how he says them.
True.
You know, like he comes off as competitive, like we talked about earlier.
George Bush don't like black people.
Yeah.
But is he wrong though?
No, I don't think so. That's the
I don't think he's wrong. I just think the way that he says it is like people don't understand it.
It was an inappropriate time to say it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'll give you that.
Was that a 12th house time to say it?
Is there ever an appropriate time?
I think that's Mercury in his 11th is just wanting to say things that are shocking and just being blunt.
Okay, let me tell you guys something else that I just pointed out. Well, that I saw just right now. He's got a Jupiter Neptune opposition exact. Literally exact.
Ooh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he's got Jupiter opposite Neptune like to the T, like
and
14
and what sign is Neptune in?
Neptune is in Sagittarius.
Beliefs. And it's squaring what?
His moon.
Up there in the 9th. Beliefs, back to beliefs.
Right.
And delusional Pisces.
Right. So that could be a little bit of why that all of that comes out. But let's just say something, because Neptune is the collective and in Sagittarius it'll say the truth. Correct?
Yes.
We can agree to that, right? We can agree that Neptune and Sag could be truthful.
Their truth.
It's opposite Jupiter, which is another collective sign.
Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you.
No, I know, but I want to.
What I'm saying is, could somebody be wrong, and just because they believe they're right, they actually would pass a lie detector test?
Absolutely, you're correct on that. But my point here is saying that Kanye West has a history of saying things that are incredibly uncomfortable to the public, but to some degree, people know it's true.
But did we also mention that Jupiter is in detriment in Gemini?
Of course,
we all knew that Beyonce should have won that award.
And we all know that George Bush is probably racist as fuck.
We all know that.
So wait,
come on now.
So let me ask you this: would you both agree that Kanye West comes across combative publicly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Mars rules his 10th, and he has Mars in detriment in Taurus.
Yes. Even though Mars likes to be in the 10th.
It's in the 10th, Placidus.
Yeah. It likes to be. It's joy. It's in the 6th.
It's still the ruler of the 10th.
Yeah. All right.
It's joy, and it's in the 6th. Yes, but I've seen charts where Mars is in the 10th, and it kind of works there. Obviously, in Taurus, it's not that great, but it could work in the 10th.
Yeah, at least what did you call it? It's in its joy in the 10th.
In the 6th.
Mars in the 6th?
Mars in the 6th, it's in its joy. Yes, Mars likes to be in the 6th house.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking.
And according to Hellenistic, Mars likes to be in the 6th. But my point in all of this, we're gonna move on. But my point in all of this is about the uncomfortability, or rather, the discomfort that comes from the things that he says. Everyone thinks it's fucked up, but to some extent, there's a little voice inside your head that's like, damn, he's saying this one thing that I would never be caught saying out loud.
He's Trump. He's saying everything that nobody will say.
That nobody wants to say.
But we're all thinking.
Yes.
Well, not so much with Trump, because that's like only a select few racists in America or whatever, but like they're all thinking it.
Yes, but the whole big thing about this is, yes or no, would you agree that you could see Jupiter in detriment in the 12th
Yeah.
displayed with Kanye West?
Of course. I mean, I have so many friends that have loved Kanye, and after the whole presidential thing and all the things that he has said about black people and everything, they're just like, bro, I can't respect this guy anymore.
Yeah.
And and you know what? You know what? In 2020, the nodes shifted and they hit his Jupiter and Sun, and they hit his Neptune.
And I will just say this. What sign is Jupiter exalted in?
Pisces?
No.
Oh, Cancer?
Yes.
Answer, yeah.
Yes. And his moon sign is trining what?
His ascendant?
Yes. And so Jupiter is controlling his moon, correct?
Yeah.
So,
but squaring it. But squaring it.
Yes, from a squaring position. Now,
almost exact.
Yes. Now, can you see he has benefited from words and been detrimental with words?
Absolutely.
Both, right? Like he sells albums.
Yes. So he benefits from words when he uses the words with his music.
He uses this tension between his sun and moon, and Jupiter too with the sun. He uses that's like his whole career could be summed up between the sun conjunct Jupiter square the moon.
Yeah.
But there's things that he said in his music that have also have come off as controversial.
Either way, that's what was the question? It was how his words are seen in his career. Like either way, like that makes like he sells albums, but he also shoots himself in the foot a lot.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Because Walter,
and that keeps him in the media. Like,
so let me ask you this.
Keeps him famous.
If his moon sign, which is actually the ship's, the steersman of his ship, right? What do we know about what's the downside of Pisces moon? It could be what?
Emotional. He's
emotionally what?
Delusional.
which controls what he says.
Yeah.
Which points to it's extremely important for Kanye West to stay on his meds. Wait. Yeah, we laughing, but yes or no, is the 12th and 6th house mental health?
Asylums too.
Yeah.
Your brain prison.
And then you just pointed it out. It's in his sun and his Jupiter are in opposition to Neptune in the sign of beliefs. Yeah. So is it could Kanye West be delusional, emotionally delusional about some of his beliefs and philosophy in life, and he puts his foot in his mouth when he says some of that shit?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yes, I agree 100% with that. But it still technically works for him because he's one of the top artists of this entire generation. He's been the top artist. He's changed the game.
Wait, there was something I wrote down that dude said.
And now he just he just released recently a beat player, right? That's like $200.
It's like a little device, and he's only releasing his album on this
Right.
device.
It's called a stem player, and the point of stem player is for you to be able to loop beats and create your own music.
Yeah, he was showing me that.
He's super autonomous. Like, he wants people to be autonomous.
Hey, he after
The Taurus stellium in the 11th, self-autonomy, like being, pretty much like giving to the people like the ability to do shit themselves.
Hey, he said something after he came out and all of that stuff. He came out and apologized about the Trump stuff, talking about people took advantage of his beliefs and all of that, and he was misled. He tweeted that, and I had wrote it down, the exact damn words.
But let me ask you something. Now that we know that he's got Sun, Jupiter in the 12th, and he's got that moon in the 9th, and his entire 4th quadrant is stacked. So let me ask you something. Do you think that he would be a good politician? He's got the chart for a politician.
But he also has, let me ask you this. Where do you put Chiron in it?
Well,
how's that playing a factor?
I mean, yeah, Chiron is hurting him.
Yeah. Yeah. There is something I did want to tell y'all. Although Saturn, we look at his Saturn, even though it's in detriment, his Saturn actually is working very well for him.
Saturn's in detriment.
Yeah. Saturn's in detriment in Leo. If Saturn rules Aquarius, and it's in detriment in Leo.
Oh, you put it with Aquarius? I put it with
Well, yeah, old school.
Oh, it's in detriment. Okay, so it would be at fall in Cancer and a detriment in Leo.
What, the sun?
Saturn.
Yeah, it's in detriment in Cancer. No, I don't know. It's not anything in Cancer.
I don't understand. I mean, I understand it, but I always get at fall and detriment back.
Fall is opposite of exaltation.
Okay.
Whatever sign. So Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, which means it falls in Capricorn.
Right.
Mercury is exalted in Virgo, it's in fall in Pisces. Venus is exalted in Pisces. It's in fall in Virgo. Saturn is exalted in Libra, and it's in fall in Aries.
Okay.
Yeah. By the way, if you look right here, even though I scored his Saturn a B+. Reason is because he's a day birth, and Saturn is sitting in the domicile of the sun, the sec ruler. And if I turn on here, his Saturn is actually protected. What do I mean by protected? It's in its own bounds. You see right here?
Yeah, I see that.
You see that, Balta?
Yeah, I see it.
Saturn's in its own bounds, which means
That's why I'm thinking that, like, yeah, Saturn does help him and all of that, but I'm also thinking that's one of the reasons why he comes off so egotistical.
How would Saturn run amok in his chart? It could be the drive to be center stage, like the egotistical center stage. But how is it helping him? What house is it in?
Well, it's in the second. It's making him money.
Yes,
but
wait. Which took him. Think about it. They didn't want to put his album out and all of that stuff.
It took a while.
Yes.
But it's Quintal his or is it Quincunx? I think it's Quincunx his moon.
Hey, guess when he signed his deal?
If I'm not mistaken, it was after the Through the Wire song. So I think it was like 2002.
It was after his Mercury Mars period.
Yeah.
He look, because when he hit the Mercury Sun period, he won a Grammy.
Wow. But after they gave him the deal, they still didn't want to take him seriously in recording his first album.
Yes, that was during this period right here, the Mars period. Look, right before he hit this Mars period, you know what happened? The car accident.
That's right.
Right before he hit the Mars period. Which, being a day birth, Mars is worse for him than Saturn. And Mars controls his 10th and 5th. And what did it take away from him? His career, the thing he loved to do, his music, and took him away from the public.
Well, that song is what put him on the map. Through the Wire. He literally rapped Through the Wire in his mouth.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Would that speak to, Mars ruling his 5th house?
Yeah. He's got Uranus in the 5th.
5th house of creativity.
Yeah.
And so detriment, Mars is in detriment, right? And what did he rap about? What did he become famous over?
He became famous over a car accident
which is a detrimental event.
Yeah.
He was creative about something that was detrimental.
Yeah. Very good. That was a good observation.
Yeah. Let me see. I say he has Venus and Mars conjunct conjunct up there in the 11th house. With Aries being on his 10th, right? House cusp, Scorpio. 10th house being the mother, and 5th house being kids. He started a charitable foundation for kids with his mother.
Yeah.
11th house. Mars being his mother.
Why do you think Mars is his mom?
I told you 10th house cusp.
So 10th is always the mom?
Yeah. Well, or your maternal
father.
Or it could be the maternal figure.
Always?
Yeah, D, that's what I've been playing with. That's what I had heard too.
Because his south node is right up there in the 10th.
I always put the 10th house with the father or the parents.
I think it's not always set for every single chart, but
yeah. Well, the reason I said the mother figure because that mother figure might not be the birth mother.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? How does Saturn how can Saturn affect him? Saturn controls his 7th house of relationships and his 8th house of other people's money. He makes money by being uniquely himself, speaking and singing about relationships with his mama, his women, and God.
Yeah. He also raps about like real shit. Like he has a whole entire album on like fucking Black history. Yeah.
What do you think Kanye West, if you ask him what he want to be known by, what do you think he would tell you?
Well, I don't think he has to tell me. I think he literally made that documentary.
That's the question though. The question is, hey, if you ask Kanye, if I ask Kanye right now, hey bro, if you want somebody to get anything out of your music, what's the message? What do you think he'd say?
Being himself. But I want to point out, he's got a T-square and it releases in Virgo. And at the very end of the documentary, he makes a comment about how he just wants to be able to make the world better. He wants his contribution to the planet to be things of quality. He literally says things of quality.
He also says he's not going to be happy until everybody on the planet is straight.
Exactly.
Now think about that comment. Everybody on the planet is straight. Until everybody on the planet is straight, he ain't going to be happy. Now, what do you think? So basically, bruh, you ain't never gonna be happy. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, but I think that speaks to his stellium in the 11th. He wants people to be self-reliant. Like he wants to give autonomy to the people.
I get it, but then again, hey, that don't sound genius to me.
I mean, yes, of course. But that's more of a personal desire.
Hey, this show is about Kanye West, genius or not.
I think he's definitely a musical genius.
Hey, that's what I said. I will give him that. I will give him, he's a musical genius. I will give him, he's a genius when it comes to designing shoes.
No.
He also owns Adidas.
Those are so ugly.
Huh? I will give him that. I'll give him that. But when it comes to his politics and all of that other shit, he's not genius.
All right, but
and to be honest with you, Walter,
maybe not the politics.
That's just some of the statements. Hey, that's why I said, hey, let's really see how genius he is. That's why I said, hey, let's get a list of Kanye West quotes.
Okay, but hold on a second.
Wait, where's the quotes?
No, time out. Let's not talk politics right now. Let's not talk.
No.
Let's talk.
No, wait. No, we got to. Wait. Let me ask you a question. Somebody can be a genius plumber. Does this genius plumber, does that apply to brain surgery?
Maybe not, but here's the point.
Hey, well then.
But the plumber can drop out of plumbing and go to medical school and become the best fucking surgeon you've ever seen in brain surgery.
But as of right now, his genius only applies to plumbing.
Okay, that's fine, but that's not the case with Kanye. Kanye literally has.
It is the kind.
Let me give you a
comes to like I said, when it comes, I will give it to him with music and all of that shit, and I will even give it to him with being uniquely himself.
His Yeezy brand in 2021 made $1.7 billion.
What?
His Yeezy brand line
okay,
is $1.7 billion. This guy had never designed a shoe before like 10 years ago.
Time out. Walter, we talking about Yeezy the person, not Yeezy the business. You got to separate that. You gotta separate that.
But you can, because
I understand
he
you.
just
you
said
look
it.
up
His
to
placidus. No, I don't look up to it. I don't look up to anyone like that.
Wait, no, I mean, look up. I understand you impressed by his business acumen.
It's amazing.
I ain't saying it ain't. I'm not saying it ain't.
You wouldn't say it's not genius?
I told you what he's genius about.
Maybe his work ethic is genius. He gets a lot done. I don't know that I would call him a genius, though.
Hey, that's the only thing. Walter, he's not. If I bring him to the philosophy world, philosophers are not going to look at him like a genius.
He's flawed, and philosophers would say that he's got a mental issue, a mental problem.
Exactly. And so you just asked me, hey, wouldn't you say he's a genius? And I just said, hey, his genius applies to certain areas. It doesn't go across the board.
Right, but you understand. Right,
yes, I do understand.
No, you haven't finished. No, you haven't let me finish. You haven't let me finish.
Wait, no. I want you to admit to what I'm saying.
No, I won't. Because Albert Einstein was not considered a genius till after his death.
Wait, but do you understand?
He was made fun of for his relativity theory.
Yes or no, Walter? Can genius only apply to one area or not?
Mastery.
I actually yes or no. You changing the word.
Genius can apply to one area.
Genius and mastery are two different things.
Genius can apply to one area, absolutely.
All right,
Just
that's
like
the only thing I'm saying. Hey, matter of fact, genius can apply to two areas. I gave him two areas.
Genius, according to the Oxford Dictionary, literally says exceptional intellectual or creative power or other natural ability. A person who is exceptionally intelligent or creative either generally or in some particular respect.
Let me ask you this. Well, then, to be honest with you, Walter, his genius applies to a certain genre of music, because there's other musicians, like, for instance, Prince, who I'll put head and shoulders, who also is a Pisces moon, who I'll put head and shoulders well over Kanye West, because Prince can play all the instruments. He's not programming. What you call it? Prince
I would put Michael Jackson.
Huh?
I would say Michael Jackson.
What?
Down.
Over Kanye?
Over absolutely. Kanye? Who died, and there's a documentary on him being a fucking pedophile.
Well, wait. I might somebody in the past, I might have said, man, I might agree with you on Michael Jackson. But like Jermaine Dupri said, hey, when somebody compared him to Puff just tells people what to do. Jermaine Dupri actually pushes buttons and programs the actual beats. Puffy never produced a beat at all.
Right.
But he's considered a great producer or whatever. Bro, you can't even run one of these machines.
Right. Can I compare this to Steve Jobs, who people say was a genius, but never did any fucking thing at all?
Hey.
Other than organize and orchestrate a team.
Okay. Hey, Steve Jobs was a genius, but he was a horrible father. Now, how come his genius didn't translate to his father being a parent?
I don't know.
Well,
he was a shit parent.
Well,
he was so concentrated on his business that he fucking fucked up being a father.
And we talking about a workaholic who does music and all about God. By the way, he sings about Jesus. He sings about Jesus. Now, hey, think about who you talking to. What do you think I think about Jesus?
About Jesus? Like Jesus
Yeah.
Christ? What do you think about Jesus Christ? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. So you know what I think about Jesus Christ. And this dude is singing about Jesus Christ, and he's all of this and he's all of that. Now, how do you think I'm looking at it? Even though his music is genius, what he's saying, what do you think I'm thinking about what he's saying?
Well, I'm guessing it's conflicting with your perspective because clearly, you're not in the religious world anymore.
Not just me, a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people are not.
So
that's okay.
so a lot of people, he's sitting up there talking about everybody who's not praising Jesus. Hey, y'all are lost. He's speaking about you, Walter. He said that on the thing.
He also literally said when he was talking at the end, he also literally said, when I was dead, because I've been reborn. And I heard that and I was like, dog, you really think you were fucking dead? Are you kidding me? You're physically alive. You've been alive.
But he's genius.
He's genius in his craft.
Well, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think he has the ability to.
Okay. I will give you this. I'm not the greatest fashionably sense. So when it comes to his clothes, all right, y'all, if you say his clothesline is straight, I'll give it.
I'm not saying his clothesline is straight. I'm just saying I know you like numbers and I know you like statistics. The Yeezy brand made $1.7 billion in revenue in the year 2021.
How much his wife's brand made?
I don't know. I haven't.
Hey, wait, no. Don't say I don't know. She made a lot. Now, wait. Let me prove this point. How genius is Kim Kardashian? She made, how much did her brand make?
What is she a genius in? Making fucking porn?
No. You just said, you know how much money he made? Do you know how much the Yeezy brand is made? Hey, and I'm saying, hey, let's turn that around. Do you know how much his wife brand is worth? Do you know how business acumen? Ain't she damn
Kim Kardashian's
she's a genius. Matter of fact, I can even make a more case of her being more genius than him to be able to take a 15-minute sex tape and make that millions, and you have no talent.
But that's not how she really started. That's how she kind of started, but that's not really how she started. So hold on. Is
it genius if she just stumbled on it though?
Of course. Thank you.
She took 15 minutes. Name me somebody else that took 15 minutes and parlayed it into that.
Her mom is a genius. Hold on. Let me just give you this.
Be honest with you.
Kim Kardashian's net worth. Hold on. Let me say this.
I agree with you with the mom. Kim
Kardashian's net worth surges $600 million.
Her mom or her?
No, Kim Kardashian's net worth surged $600 million as her company Skims. That's her latest company, Skims, which does a fashion. It's a lingerie company. Have you heard of Fenty Savage, whatever, Rihanna's lingerie line?
I think I've seen it.
Okay, Rihanna launched a lingerie line, and right after, Kim Kardashian launched her own. And the company made last year $400 million in sales. It's relatively new. Now, if we're just talking
what do Rihanna's make?
I don't know. I gotta look at it. But if we're just talking money, Kanye has the creative ability to go off and do some crazy shit and make a ton of fucking money.
Hey, and Kim has the ability to put a damn shirt on, take a picture, and make a shit ton of money.
She's got the body, but because she probably
Kim's not as impressive.
Hey, she was genius to go get the surgery.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Hey, it takes a genius to recognize a genius, so Kanye married her.
Rihanna's Savage by Fenty line made $15.8 billion in 2021.
Oh, so Kim billion?
I don't know. I feel like we're
You say
getting
billion?
into sketchy territory here.
Yeah,
like,
we're going off the.
We're just looking at the money. Like, a lot of these people already come from money. Like, are they really genius that they were raised?
Okay.
Kanye didn't. Kanye's mom was an English teacher and his dad was a Christian minister.
Yeah, Kanye's more impressive. That's what I'm saying.
I got a question for you, Walter.
The south side
I got a
of
question
Chicago.
for you. Do you think he lied about his dad trying to abort it, getting his mom trying to abort him? You think that was a lie?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that part. I don't know because they don't really go over the history or the detail of the parents. They just show him and his mom, and they don't really show the dad at any point. But let me just say this: statistically speaking, anyone coming from the south side of Chicago back when Kanye was around, the statistics were very low because there was a lot of fucking gang violence. There was just a lot of shit going on. Like, it was hard to come out of Chicago. That's another reason why he dubs himself genius, because not a lot of people made it out of Chicago as a rap artist the way that he is.
Oh, let me. I got some quotes I want to before we,
go. And I just want to
say.
No.
I want to. You remember how I was saying, the Cancer rising really made me, here's some things that. What does this say? They said the goal was the cameraman said the goal was to see how far his dreams would take him. What does that quote? What placement does that quote speak to? How far his dreams will take him.
That's the moon in the 9th, right?
That's what I was saying, D.
Yeah.
Squaring his Jupiter.
And travel.
Exactly. Hey, he was always in different places, traveling. China. What was that? Costa Rica.
Dominican Republic.
And I told when they asked him about the Grammys, if they asked him if he believed he would win a Grammy, he said, I told other people they didn't believe I was going to win.
Dang. That sounds like him.
Another thing he said, I'm motivated by faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mama taught me you have to believe in me first.
Yeah, it's his moon.
Yeah, that's all his moon.
I got down here how much his mama's words influenced him. Whatever you put your mind to, just don't give up.
Oh, and say the one about the giant.
I didn't write them down. You remember?
Yeah, so his mom told him throughout the entire documentary, they show this, his mom used to tell him, the giant looks at himself in the mirror and can't see that he's a giant. Which I think that speaks to his Sun-Jupiter conjunction.
Oh, here's the tweet. After the whole the Trump stuff, he apologized and said, I'm sorry. I've been used to spread a message I don't believe in.
Ooh.
Who's that placement speaking to?
Yeah.
I think that speaks to the 6 and the 12, because he was basically a slave to a message, no?
Good. I like that, Walter.
True.
I like that one, Walter. Yeah, I like that one, Walter. Let me see. What else I have? I have some good songs in my heart that the world needs to hear.
That's the ninth 12th square, right? Or the Taurus? Is the Taurus?
I was thinking that goes to his moon. I have some songs in my heart. Songs, Pisces, heart,
I could
moon
also see that with Venus.
that the world needs to hear.
Trying to spread his message.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
also I would say it could be the trine to his ascendant, the moon trining his ascendant.
Oh yeah.
You know, I got some songs that the world needs to hear. The ninth being like a big picture, and I have some songs being, you know, the first. He's a creative.
I think. Let me see.
Give me a second, guys.
Oh, all right.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, although he had a friendship with the cameraman, their friendship broke up for like 6 years. What placement do you think that speaks to?
Maybe Chiron conjunct Venus
And Mars.
Yeah, can't leave Mars out. It's right there.
I would
Or even just Mars and Venus, because Mars severs
when you
relationships.
in the 11th house, friends.
And the 11th house friends. Well, I was saying more like Venus is like relationship, like it was a long friendship.
Yes. Even though his Venus is exalted, ruling
Strong.
in Taurus, the Mars there brings some tension, I guess. Tension with loved ones, I guess. I mean, you know, look at him. He's fighting with Kim.
Yeah, that's true.
The fifth house is, you know, and put Venus there in the fourth house. Venus rules his fourth house of home, family, and roots, being Libra sitting up there.
Right.
One other thing, there was a part when he said, it was in the beginning of episode 2, they showed him rapping as a kid. That was and the video was in 1990. They showed him rapping as a kid, right? And that was, and he said he's been rapping since the 7th grade, right?
Okay.
How old are you around the 7th grade?
Like 13, right?
14, yeah. Saturn in opposition.
Yeah, so that is, he started rapping around his, you know, around his moon Venus period. Moon being up there in the, you know, in Pisces, Venus being ruling Taurus and is on rulership. One of the things, if I go to my spreadsheet, one of the things that stood out to me is, look at it. You see the bound lords?
They're all Venus and Saturn. They're mostly Venus.
Mostly Venus. And then he has Saturn, like I said, his Saturn is protected. Right?
And they're square. It squares his Venus.
Yeah. So, and Venus is in its rulership, you know. So he has Venus here controls a lot of his stuff, what's going on with these planets. Can y'all
Venus
see that?
Yeah, Venus is also overcoming Mars.
So let me ask you this: Do you think he would be as charitable if it wasn't for his mom starting that foundation?
I guess
I don't know, maybe.
hard to say.
I think well, masculine and feminine and all of that has to do with timing and all of that stuff. I think the Saturn being protected down there in the second house was he was gonna make a lot of money, but it was gonna take time.
Yeah, and blowing up his ego a lot.
But I'm wondering, because he's still young. Do you think he could squander that shit?
Well, he had a bankruptcy, remember? He just didn't talk about it in the documentary. But
Really?
He went through a bankruptcy. Yeah, him and Kim went through a bankruptcy, and at some point they started showing photos of themselves being poor, quote unquote. Remember that?
No.
Yeah, that was like a thing. Yeah, they went through a bankruptcy. Like he talked about being bankrupt a couple years back.
I did not know that.
About how he had to pay his cousin like $200,000 for a laptop that his cousin stole because there was like a sex tape in it. It's in his album called what is it? The Life of Pablo. I've been to Kanye West concerts. This is another reason why I know this.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything about Kanye's astrology you wanted to bring up?
Oh no, not in particular. I think we covered most of it, if not all of it.
Let me ask you this. Well, go ahead. You want to bring up, Walter?
I was just gonna say that Kanye is a very complex human, and it shows in his chart.
Yeah, you could definitely say that.
Can you see that North Node in Libra?
Yeah, well, right now with the whole situation going on with Skeet and his and his children.
Hey, I heard he responded to him on Saturday Night Live.
He did?
Oh, with Pete.
What did he say to him?
I don't know. I saw like a little.
Should we look it up in real time?
but yeah, he responded to him on. Let me ask you this: Do you think he's making a fool out of himself with that, the whole Kim stuff?
I think he just knows how to stay in the public eye. I think a lot of it is true, but I think the other half of it is just knowing how to play the media and knowing how to stay in people's mouths, keeping your name in everyone's mouth.
Oh, Walter.
Well, you know he got suspended from Facebook.
Yeah. Wait, Walter. I have something to ask you then. I'm glad you said that, D, because you remember when him and the cameraman, they wasn't hanging out for a while.
Yeah.
Do you remember what he told the cameraman why he didn't want him to come with him?
I don't recall.
He said he's acting.
Oh yeah, that he was acting now.
What do you think he meant by that?
He had to be a specific way in the public. He couldn't be himself. He had to be polished. He had to be a specific way. He had to say certain things. He had to act like he was a fucking rapper, an artist.
And he also said that the public wasn't ready to see this side of him. Why do you think now he's allowing this side of him to be seen?
Well, I mean, he's grown now, He actually, what I wanted to look at was his perfections. Actually, no, his Fredaria. He's in a Saturn period. He's been in a Saturn period since he turned 41. No, 40.
Was that the beginning of the end of his relationship with Kim? Didn't they start going downhill around him?
Could be.
Yeah, and if you look at he's in a Saturn He's in a Saturn Mars period now, and he's coming up out of that by he just came out of it. Is the divorce final?
Yeah, the divorce is final, and now they're just fighting for custody.
Yeah.
Which no one knows what's gonna happen. But look, this is the part that actually makes me feel bad for him, because honestly and truly, after you look at the documentary, you can tell that he really has been battling with mental health issues. You know, and a person that's been battling with mental health issues, your wife, your ex-wife, should not be throwing in your face that you need to fucking take your medication or whatever, and that because of you taking medication, they're gonna take your kids away from you. Like, that is fucked up.
Yeah.
Hey,
Fucked up.
hey, look at this.
Oh yeah, his secondary progressions.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Which there's a stellium in his first in Leo.
Yeah.
With Saturn in his first, ruling his 7th house of relationships, and his progressed moon is in Libra in the 3rd.
Kim is a Libra, a late degree Libra.
Is he being very Leo about his relationship?
Yeah.
3rd house.
Yeah. I know. I feel bad for him, honestly, and I know there's a lot of people out there that disagree with me and that think that like he's an asshole and fuck him or whatever. But I don't know.
No, they saying you feeling bad for a billionaire.
Yo, but he came from nothing.
But he's still
Nothing.
a billionaire.
No, well. But hey, I might be a billionaire one day too, and I'm gonna have fucking struggles, and I'm gonna feel bad for myself.
Hey,
anything,
I'm not saying you don't have struggles. I'm not saying billionaires don't have struggles. But what I'm saying is, it's hard to get sympathy from people when you are a billionaire.
It's very hard, but it goes to show you that it doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. You still have fucking like issues.
Yes, and another reason why it's hard for him to get sympathy, Walter, is because of something you pointed out earlier.
Which was
his arrogance as he climbed up the ladder. Could that be Mars in his 11th?
Could his arrogance be what allowed him to climb up the ladder?
I'm not saying it isn't, but yes or no, everything has a cost.
Yeah.
Yes, his arrogance allowed him to climb up that ladder, but it also could have been at the cost of sympathy, especially when, hey, believe it or not, you back there, you saying whatever you said about Black people in slavery. You're up there with Trump. You're up there with all the monkey shine that you done said. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that's why now he's going the Sunday service route. And now he wants to have a church. Now he wants to dedicate and devote his life to God fully.
Hey, that you don't remember that dude saying that on there? People thinking, hey, this is just your way of trying to, come back and to make it, back to the public eye or whatever, and get the grace. That was one of the things the cameraman kind of said. He was like, nah, I'm real with this. Jesus is boom, boom, boom. So any final words on Kanye D for you?
God bless his heart.
She's like, God bless his soul.
Please be with him through these trying times.
How can people get in touch with you, D?
Find me at dream-astrology.com. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New
Year. Real Year.
Oh yeah.
Is the new calendar
coming out?
first day of my new astrological 2022 calendar started today with the first day of Aries and the first day of spring.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Walter, any last words on Kanye? Did this documentary shift your thinking at all? And after you say that, tell the people how they can get in touch with you.
A little bit, definitely. You know, I think the documentary made me see a side of him that I hadn't seen before. And I think it made a lot of people see the hard work that he had to put into to get the success that he has. And Kanye, if you ever hear this, man, I know that you said at the beginning that you don't really know if the Gemini constellation is right or what not, but you got 3 astrologers you can talk to on the
hire us, Kanye. We're available.
Kanye's PR, Scooter Braun, if you're out there listening, please hit us up. We'd love to have a session with Kanye. We're Yeezy.
Well, with that being said, and if y'all saying if Kanye gonna hear this, right? That's something I said earlier about words. Words can motivate him. So let me see if I could say some words that may motivate Kanye to tweet about I Am Astrology Reading podcast.
Twitter fingers.
Kanye West, I watched your documentary. I never really was a fan. I was putting up for the people who's listening, the quote, fan per se. There's some songs I dug of yours. Of course, your production is top 5. With that being said, I did get a different perspective of you behind the scenes, off camera. Did you change some things? Yes. Did you not change some things? Yes. What did you change? I admire your work ethic. I admire the environment that the environmental mind frame that your mom placed and instilled inside of you. I also admire your uniqueness, and I also, believe it or not, admire your ability to be uncensored, even though you should be at times. Not musically. Like your dad said, write your speech sometimes.
Right.
Write your speech next time before you go on out there. With that being said, the title of this podcast is Kanye West, Genius or question mark?
Genius or not?
Yes. To be or not to be?
That is the question.
Yes. I am of the thought that yes, someone could be a genius in music and in a field. Now, I'm also old school. In old school, titles are given to you. You don't give them titles yourself. That's the old school way. So with that being said, genius in music and tennis shoes, I get that, bro. But when it comes to the rest of the stuff, bruh, and this is for your Twitter fingers, take your meds.
Oh man.
With that being said, Kanye, you can get in touch with me at IamAstrologyReadings.com or IamAstrologyReadings@gmail. Kanye, if you want to get a reading from me, come to the booking section. I'm would enjoy having a conversation with you. And I'll keep it private. I won't tell anybody, Kanye. I don't need to be public.
Thank you, Kanye.
Yeah, and with that, thank y'all, everybody. See y'all next time. See y'all, ladies. And you know how I end this all the time. Know thyself and balance your energy.
Peace.